Okay, geometry students, the law of sines. So we've got a triangle here, triangle ABC, and we have to find the missing side. Well, we've got to find lots of stuff, actually. We're going to try to find right now this side right here, side AC, which we're going to call side little b, just to save ourselves some writing. First thing, of course, we're going to do is write SOHCAHTOA at the top, although I'm sure you probably know which of the letters we're going to use. SOHCAHTOA. And to do this, I actually don't even need to know the law of sines yet. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a right triangle coming down here. Because you may notice that this is not a right triangle. That's 42, that's 31, that's going to give me 73 degrees, which means this angle right here is 107 degrees. And that's definitely not a right triangle, so I can't use the normal right triangles here. But I'm going to make a right triangle. So I got to find this side right here. I don't know what this side's called. I'm going to call it our favorite letter, X. So I'm going to use 42 degrees and 20 to figure out this side. Then once I know this side, I can figure out this side. I can use this right triangle to figure out this side. So let's see here. For this triangle first, I'm going to figure out X. X is equal to, well, let's see here. That's the opposite. That would be the hypotenuse because it's across from this 90-degree angle. Oh, hey, surprise, we got to use sine. So opposite hypotenuse, I'm going to do the sine of 42 is equal to X over 20. Then, of course, just got to cross multiply. X times 1 is X. And then we'll take 20 times the sine of 42. I could get that as a decimal first if I want to. And pull out my calculator. So I'm going to do 20 times, one regular, sine of 42. I'm going to close my parentheses and hit enter. 13.3826. 13.382612127177. I like to go way too far so that I don't get any rounding errors when I try to figure out the missing side right here. So now that I know X, I can figure out the missing side right here. So this is from 31 degrees, this is the opposite, this is the hypotenuse. Oh Lord, I need a sine again. So the sine of 31 degrees is equal to, X is 13.382612127177. All over side B. So I cross multiply B times the sine of 31, which is some big long decimal that I don't want to write out. That's 1. So 13.38 times 1 is, well, 13.382612127177. So B, the missing side, is going to equal 13.382612127177 divided by the sine of 31. Whatever that decimal is, I get my calculator out. I'm going to say, type the number in, 13.3817. Oh, 2612127177 divided by the sine of 31, and I get the missing side is 25.9837333, yada, yada, yada. And we'll just round it to, and say 25.98. There we go. So even though it wasn't a right triangle, I was still able to figure out this side by forcing in right triangles. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. Now, is there a way to make this faster? Yes, and it's called the law of sines. So here's how it works. I'm going to do this whole thing without using any numbers this time. Once again, I'm going to draw this right down here. I'm going to call this side X. So if I know angle A, so if I know angle A right here, let's say I'm trying to find this side right here. Well, what's the first thing we did? We just said the sine of angle A is equal to X over C. Opposite over hypotenuse. I can do the same thing with this one right here. The sine of angle C is equal to X over A. Now I'm going to do something. Here. I'm going to solve for X on both sides. I'm going to just cross multiply. So the sine of A times side C is equal to X. And on this one, X times 1 is X, is equal to the sine of angle C times little a. By the transitive property, these have to be equal to each other. So I can say the sine of angle A times little side C is equal to the sine of side C times little side A. You may say, well, okay, that's an interesting formula. That's kind of confusing, Mr. Kuhne. So someone had the brilliant idea of doing the following. They uncross multiplied. They divide this side by C and divide this side by C. And so they got the sine of angle A is equal to the sine of C times A all over C. Then they divided both sides by A. I'm going to divide this side by A and divide this side by A. So these cancel out. These cancel out up here. And we get the sine of angle A over A is equal to, you can't see that, can you? Sine of angle A over A is equal to the sine of angle C over little side C. So now we have something nice where we don't have to do the intermediate step. I can just set up a proportion like this to figure out the missing side. All right. I want you to pause the video and try setting up the following. Oh, let's call this side right here. Well, let's call it 20. That seems like a good number. No, we're gonna call it 28. So let's find this side right here, side little l. Go ahead and pause the video and set up your proportion to find side L. Okay, I'm going to assume you paused the video. If not, that's okay, just follow along. So I've got the sine of 70, sine of angle L over side little l is equal to the sine of 30 over side little n. And now, you can just cross multiply from here. Cross multiply, so you're going to get L times the sine of 30 is equal to 28 times the sine of 70. And then, so we can do some algebra in between if we want. I can come in here and say, okay, what's the sine of 30? Oh, 0.5. Well, that's nice and easy. So L times 0.5, numbers aren't always that easy, is equal to, let's see here, 28 times the sine of 70. 28 times the sine of 70, close my parentheses. That's going to be 26.3113932, and I'll just stop there. And so then, how do I solve it? Divide both sides by 0.5. Take this, divide by 0.5, which will be the same as doubling it, and we get 52.6227867, and we'll just stop there. L is approximately, we'll call it 52.62. There we go. Now, some people might say, well, can I do this slightly differently? Can I just skip that step and type it all into my calculator at once? Sure. L is equal to, I come up here, just divide both sides by the sine of 30. I can type in my calculator 28 times the sine of 70, all divided by the sine of 30. I can type that in my calculator all at once, as long as I make sure I close my parentheses. 28 times the sine of 70, close those parentheses, divided by the sine of 30, close those parentheses, and I get the exact same thing. So if you like doing this way better and going straight to the answer, that's fine. If you like doing all the intermediate steps up here, that's okay too. There you go, law of sines. Good luck.